Yes, we're ready to go live. Hey, how you doing? This is DJD Phoenix, and you are watching the Hook, Line, and Thinker edition or July edition. That's what this is. I don't know what year it is, but I think I know the month. Anyway, I'm DJD Phoenix, the goofball that hangs out behind the scenes most of the time. So, anyway, we've got a good show. I'm about ready to get schooled by Danny Boy and Raymond Michael. So, two Jersey boys that are going to show this Oly Town kid what's up. Anyway, so without further ado, you didn't tune in to watch me, you tuned in to watch the show. Here we go, kids. Rock and roll. This is Hook, Line, and Thinker for July 2021. Take it away, Tom.
What's happening, guys? It's Wired, and you're listening to us on Neo Retro FM. Boom.
This week on Neo Retro FM Olympia, it's Billy Curry of Tubeway Army, Visage and Ultravox visiting Tuesday through Thursday. Then, Geordie Davison of Australia's San Cisco is in on Friday and Saturday. And the Tubes Fee Waybill stops by on Sunday, 10 p.m. Pacific Time. These are the nightly sessions. Then at 10:30 it's the podcast that DubFX built. It's the Hook, Line, and Thinker podcast featuring DubFX, co-hosted by DJ D Phoenix. This week on Neo Retro FM Olympia at 10:30 p.m. Pacific Time nightly.
Yo, what's going down? This is your boy DubFX. I am doing a show called Hook, Line, and Thinker with DJ D Phoenix on Neo Retro FM, so tune into that.
So your T-shirt got lost in the mail, by the way. You think I'm joking? I really do have I have a shirt I need to get to you. Okay. Anyway,
make sure it's a schmedium.
A schmedium?
Yeah.
So that it shows all your muscles.
Exactly.
Okay. Are you sure you don't?
I'll take a small too. The extra medium.
Exactly. On those days when you're feeling like really buff.
Yeah, exactly.
Throw a small one on. Yeah. Did you ever watch Friends?
No, but I used to wear a guinea tee that was mini me's, and it made me look really big.
That's why you were going into the junior miss department. Okay. And I just thought, okay, gotcha. I thought we were doing school shopping, but maybe not. Hey guys, you are watching Hook, Line, and Thinker. This is DJ D Phoenix out of Olympia, Washington. And this is the July edition of Hook, Line, and Thinker. I want to say thank you very much for watching and for tuning in. The guy with his finger on the pulse and also on the screen, that's Danny Boy, that you're all familiar with, out of New Jersey. And with Danny tonight, we've also got a new guest, or maybe a new regular. And we've got Raymond Michael with us. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right, thank you. Hey, Raymond, where are you logging in from? Where are you?
I'm in Jersey, only about probably 15 miles from Danny Boy over there.
Okay. And I know he's kind of like out in the Pine Barrens area, if I remember right, but I could be wrong.
No, he's. I'm not going to give his location out online, but yeah.
No, he's a wanted dude. We have a lot of people writing in asking for addresses and stuff. And,
right.
Yeah, I haven't gotten a good price enough, yet. So
you definitely gotta just keep the bidding war up. And listen, I'm willing to sell his address for a little piece myself. So, right. And then when they come and get me, we'll sell Raymond's address next.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
turn this into a Ponzi.
What's that? What was that last little?
Turn this into a Ponzi.
No.
Yeah. We'll turn into a MLM, just selling addresses to the feds.
There we go. We knew we were going to take this in a new direction anyway. I just didn't know that would be the direction we'd be heading, but that's all right. So, with that all being said, speaking of directions, do you know what direction we want to take this tonight? Okay, gotcha. Got it. Okay, so then
can we start here?
I'm sorry.
I want to start here, Darren. Can you explain to me why you're wearing a glove on your left hand?
because my hands are messed up.
Okay.
It's
Gotcha.
it's got a marijuana leaf on it, but that has nothing to do with anything, I don't think. Yeah, no, it's because of my hands, my disability.
Speaking of marijuana, is it legal out there in Washington State?
Yeah. 8 years?
No shit.
Something like that. I think it
We
went.
just got it legalized here. What, Ray? Like six months ago?
Right. Yeah. I think you can. So the stench of marijuana is no longer probable cause to get your car searched.
Yeah.
You can travel with up to an ounce without being, without any legal recourse.
Okay.
Fine.
Fine.
But you obviously can't sell it. So.
Right.
I
And,
think I even think the funny thing is purchasing marijuana is still a crime. But if they don't catch you actually buying it, the possession of it is not a crime.
Okay.
So
So
for
it's
instance,
oh my
it's
God.
not
legal,
really
but
all
you
the way-
can't go and there's nowhere to buy it, even though it's legal.
right. You can
But if
have
they-
it. You can't buy it.
Right. If they catch you buying it, it's a crime. But once you have it, there's nothing they can do.
Who
It's kind of odd.
Who thinks
Yeah.
this stuff up? And yeah, you've got the. I don't know what I think. Out of all of this, the one thing that I think that is awesome is the fact that people that were busted on basically relatively minor charges, as far as I'm concerned, over pot, have been released, at least in
Right.
our state. I don't know if this is federal or if it's nationwide yet, but
I've
that's
heard-
No.
I've
Federal.
heard and stuff like that in New Jersey too. Overturning kids.
Right. Expunging prior arrests for what's the word? Like people who are not dealing,
right.
Non-trafficking cases.
Right.
Smaller possession.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Wow. And I guess it does vary from jurisdiction. Yeah, it's actually really changed everything here. The one thing that we have more of a problem with now, not that we ever had really a problem with marijuana before, but what we have a problem with now is meth is everywhere, and so is heroin. So
Meth is a big deal in the Pacific Northwest.
It's because we are straight up the West Coast pipeline from Mexico.
Right. I mean, between Washington and Oregon, it's next level meth out there.
Yep. Yeah. Because somebody's cousin knows somebody's cousin that runs the whole thing. So,
Right.
and it seems weird to me. I mean, personally, I hate the fact that I'm paying for packaging. Now let's have this kind of show. Let's talk about a little bit more about 9/11. You asked what I thought. There are some of those images that I still can't get out of my mind. I don't know that I ever will. The falling man, the people that jumped, the people that got caught in the street as it came down, and the refuse and the cloud that permeated through the city for how many days or a week or whatever afterwards. The completely indelible images of the firefighters at ground zero afterwards. And that's just part of it, So I don't know. I mean, this is our 20th anniversary this year.
Right.
What did we learn? I don't know. Do you guys remember what it was like? And I don't know what it was like necessarily back there, but I know back here, and I heard a lot of stories. There was such a quiet, like a silence that took over the country, but also the cool way that people treated each other for those first few days after the attacks. It's like,
Yeah, we were all just Americans at that point.
yeah. And it
Because
didn't-
everybody, I mean, when you think of 9/11, it's like one of those pinnacle moments as an American where, you remember where you were right at that moment, what you were doing. Everything is like so clear to me still, like it was just yesterday. And do you
Right.
guys have the same, earmarked in your lives, in your memory of where you were and what you were doing?
Yeah, I know
Absolutely.
exactly where I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now,
Where were
for-
you at that? What were you doing?
yeah. Because with New Jersey, the way that it sits geographically, were either of you able to actually see the city itself, or did you just stay home? Well,
I personally was able to see the smoke because at that time I was actually in a rehab. And I remember it, vividly, like it was yesterday. I was eating breakfast down in the room with everybody that was there, and seeing a fire in one of the towers. And at that point, when the first one had hit, you just get the report that a small aircraft had hit the first tower. That was the initial report that we got. So I don't think anything of it. I'm just sitting there eating my cereal, watching the fire, and literally you're watching it and you see the plane come in and hit the other tower. At that point, I remember I just stood up and everybody stood up. We were just like, oh shit. You just knew at that moment that something fucked up really just happened. And,
right.
You could just feel it. And it was terrible. And like those images that you said of the people jumping out of the buildings, man, could you imagine that, being so high and that being a better alternative than to stay and get burned than to jump out of a fucking 100-story building?
No, I can't imagine it. Having been to New York before and standing at the base of the Twin Towers, I don't know if I'd ever even be able to go up much past the 20th floor without just totally throwing up. So the idea of being that high up and being basically trapped, can't even imagine.
That's unbelievable. It's unfathomable to think of what it might have been like to be in those people's situation.
Well, that's just it. Let's see. I've got a burning building behind me. My coworkers are either dead or screaming and running for their lives, and I might bounce once. That's what I'm going to chance. I mean,
Ray,
where was I? What?
I was at Ray where he was. I don't know if he was at the city where he was.
No, so I actually was a senior in high school when that happened. And I was in automotive class. It was, I think, my first period. And so automotive class was down kind of in the basement because you could pull your car in to the automotive class. So we're down in the basement where the garage was. And a janitor came in and was like, hey, and just like you said, he said, oh, a plane hit the tower. Must have been a drunk pilot or something. So we turned the TV on and we watched the second plane hit live. And I just remember pandemonium and a lot of people that I went to school with, their parents worked there, where they were from there or their family or whatever. And so we all got let out of school early that day. And I remember that week we had a football game. We played Watchung Hills, which is literally in view of the city, Watchung Hills. And, the stadium was just silent when the Star Spangled Banner was played before the game. And I remember crying, I was on the field holding my helmet when the flag was billowing and the song was playing. I remember crying, and we just all and then the stadium erupted after the song was over and everyone was cheering and shit. And
that's moving.
We were just Americans, man. And it was definitely, like I said, a time where where you were.
Yeah. Kind of, I think the only thing I can equate it to is our parents telling us that they remember where they were when Kennedy was assassinated.
Right.
That kind of saying, that monument,
or the lunar landing,
or Martin Luther King for that matter, that something that significant.
Decode the signal until 2011, when the signal was also.
It does. It just kind of wherever you're at, you just always remember that. I had actually, I think I was still managing at that. Yeah, I was managing an espresso business, and I was standing out in the parking lot having a cigarette. It was 5 o'clock, going on 6 o'clock here. And one of the workers at the store walked in. She goes, yeah, did you hear a plane hit the trade center? And I'm like, no. Wow, that's weird. And so not having a TV or anything or having access to that, as the morning wore on and the stories kept coming in, we were listening to the radio, and nobody was barely coming into the store that day. And everybody that did you hear? Did you hear? And yeah, strange, weird stuff.
Wow.
So,
I remember after it happened, though, like 15, 20 minutes after it happened with the second tower, I remember them saying, oh my God, we're under attack. Another plane just hit the Pentagon. And then they're like, another plane is over here. There's another plane hijacked in the air over there. There's another plane. And I'm just like, we were all like freaked out because we were kind of close to the city where I was. I forget the name of the town, but it was in, you know, it was in eyes view, but you know, you couldn't distinctly see, but you could see the smoke. What was I gonna say? Oh, so we're outside. I remember I was having a cigarette. I was outside smoking back when I used to smoke. And I remember just looking up, like every time a plane went, we thought like we thought that there was like, it was gonna like crash into the building where we were. We weren't sure like what was gonna happen or what was happening.
right.
It was a scary time, man. It really was.
Well, when you stop and figure where you guys were geographically, and yeah, like all around you was another plane crash or another hijacking. So like that tri-state area that you guys are basically a part of, yeah, you were pretty much bordered in from the amount of them. I stop and think about too. I know that the story about the plane that went down in, what was it, Pennsylvania?
Shanksville.
Yeah. Okay. The story of them overtaking the hijackers. They made movies about that, and it just makes me wonder, though, did we learn our lessons? I mean, and what were the lessons to be learned?
I mean, that's what I was asking you, and what I would ask both of you is, do we believe the official story? Is it okay to question the official story?
I think
do you think what happened was the truth?
It's
Not
definitely
totally.
okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, Raymond, you go ahead.
It's definitely okay to question the story that we were given because,
Yeah.
the old saying, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Right.
And there is just too many things that don't add up.
A lot of
the
it.
official story.
Guess who? No. You need to walk a mile in my shoes. Cruising, top down, no lid, don't suffer fools. Go, new road, new track, new vote, new souls. Here we go again, so monochrome. It's like riding a bike. Make a beat, take around the track a couple times. Quick, where's my keys? Drum roll, please. Solo riders here, and he promises to be on his best behavior. Knows when to tweet, knows when not to speak, knows when to take to the streets and wave the flag like a banner with his dragon. This alien DNA is mixed with some kraken. Take it from me, anything can happen. Danger on land and sea, just like the Aquaman. I'll let you run away with this notion. Everything is cool, and in fact we have a magic potion. But we don't, everything is rote. Everything is kinda funny, but we ain't a fucking joke. Just like a cloud of smoke blown away with gusto. You must know by now the color into monochrome. We told ya, soldiers. Okay, UK, you okay, we okay, everybody's okay. You okay, UK, you okay, we okay, everybody's okay. You okay, UK, you okay, we okay, everybody's okay. Okay, UK, you okay, we okay, everybody's okay.
You okay? Everybody tryna copy my style, everybody wanna copy my flavor. Last night hit the town, while out on my rounds, people getting pissed with my misbehavior. There's certain things you need to understand. I'm no longer a boy, can't you see I'm a man? Yeah, I'm working on a plan, yeah, I'm rolling with the gang. See me rolling, man. I'm going all out tonight. Yeah, you know I'm going crazy. Spicy rum on the tongue, mixed with the pills, makes the room go wavy. And now my head is getting heavy, but I'm like, fuck it, chuck me another berry. I rack up another line. Yeah, while I spit my rhymes, holding the fact I got mine and they got theirs, so there's no need for the past by. So let's set the mood, let's set the vibe, let's keep it cool, let's keep it right. Let's just get drunk, let's just get high. I'm going all out tonight. So let's set the mood, let's set the vibe, let's keep it cool, let's keep it right. Let's just get drunk, let's just get high. I'm going all out tonight.
Okay, UK, you okay, we okay, everybody's okay. You okay, UK, you okay, we okay, everybody's okay. You okay, UK, you okay, we okay, everybody's okay. Okay, UK, you okay, we okay, everybody's okay.
You okay?
And those are the soldiers of Monochrome, Wired and Low Rider. Do check their stuff out. You can find them here on our stuff, but you can also find them on Facebook, facebook.com/soldiersmonochrome. And they've also got a YouTube channel. You can check that out. We've got links somewhere. Anyway, so that was part 1. We are now moving into part 2. So as soon as I can find the right button to choose, which would be that one right there, then I'll just say, hey, I'll see you guys after this next act. You are watching Hook, Line, and Thinker.
And there was a paper written not long before, and I don't remember who it was written by. I'd have to look it up, but it was basically like the way to make America again. And it basically said we need another Pearl Harbor to bring Americans together and have the American pride. And what was this? This was our lifetime Pearl Harbor. And all the weird things that happen, like for instance, in the most protected airspace in the world, Washington, D.C., a plane that we knew was hijacked, was able to fly unmolested right into D.C. and right into Pentagon, the most protected building in the world. And we scrambled fighter jets, but guess what they did? They went 100 miles out into the Atlantic Ocean and then said, oops, and then they turned around and came back. Now, on the day that all this occurred, and you can look everything up, I'm saying is fact. This isn't like conspiracy. These are official releases. On the day that 9/11 happened, they were doing war games. The military was actually performing war games, which simulated planes being taken over by hijackers.
It's funny how they always have simulations and games going on regarding whatever type of tragedy happens right after that or around the same time.
Right. And in that game, in the war games, they were hijacking planes and using the planes as bombs.
Wow, how about that?
And to the point where when people were calling the air traffic controllers and the military people, they actually were saying, is this real world or is this,
is this the game? Was this real?
Because they were like, well, yeah, of course we're playing a game, right? Basically, and it turned out to be real. And so everything got fucked up. Our responses got fucked up. The way we would normally respond to a real emergency didn't happen because these games were going on. It's a little fucking odd.
I did hear that too, man. And like Ray said, there are countless instances of where our government has certain exercises that are earmarked. You can look this stuff up on the web, on their websites, for, disaster training. And the same exact type of disaster ends up happening.
Right around that time.
No, at that time. Yeah.
At that time.
Yeah. There's a name for it. I forget the exact name for it. If we had somebody like Joe Rogan has Jamie to look things up, you could, Jamie, go ahead and look that up and we can get everything, the Google guy.
Yeah. So,
But listen, you know, oddly enough, the way that I had met up with you is how I had met up with Raymond as well. Me and Ray used to be friends on something called MySpace, which I'm sure you're familiar with.
I've heard.
Years
I've heard of it.
ago, and I lost track of him somehow over the years until we reconnected again on Facebook. Probably like 5 years later, right?
You know, I'm not good on the timing of when the MySpace and Facebook thing occurred. What I do remember specifically, to put a timetable on Facebook, is I was with my son. Me and my son's mother had just broken up. That's when you and me really first started talking. And my son was about 2 and he just turned 12. So it's been about 10 years since you and I really started talking. But as I said, I don't know if you stepped away for a minute, but that you and I really, the last like 2 years, have really like picked up the, you know, we always had random good conversations, but I'd say the last 2 years, you and I have really like, you know, we talk almost every day now.
Right, for sure. But what I mean is, as far as Facebook is concerned, or I'm sorry, MySpace, we were talking to each other in like 2006.
Right. I was saying, I know
back.
we did. I just don't know what years that was. But I do remember the Facebook aspect was 10 years ago.
Yeah, no.
And MySpace was before that.
2006, because we had a mutual friend who was a rapper, and I used to rap also, and Raymond also.
Breathless.
Breathless. Yes, that
Breathless.
was his name, Breathless.
Okay.
Yeah. And I used to go by Wisdom, and he was a part of Casino Entertainment. That was his thing. And what was your name, Ray?
So at the time, so way back then, I was known as Knuckles.
Knuckles.
Right. And then, what was mine for? Then I changed it. It was something else for a while, but then really for the last, you know, like I don't do music anymore, but from that time till the time I was done was Casey Jones, like from the Turtles.
Knuckles to Casey Jones.
Yeah.
So was it like MC Knuckles or DJ Knuckles or just Knuckles?
Nah, it was just Knuckles, because I used to fight a lot, and it was a really dumb thing, but it's what I used to like to do, and now I'm a pacifist.
Yeah, because that wasn't the first thing that crossed my mind. What's that?
Has a video that he produced that's actually pretty cool. I forget the name of it. Ray's brother was a part of his little band too. And what was the name of that song, Ray?
We did that video for We Gon Make It. It was called.
Yeah, We Gon Make It.
And
Is it
was
out
kind of
online
like,
anywhere?
yeah, it's on YouTube. It's
Really?
like it was like a local hit. It was actually like people would go crazy over that song. One
guess
time,
what?
it was really funny. Me and my brother we did an album, and one time I was hanging out with this girl, and I actually picked her up in the Clinton area, ironically. And on the way back, we got off the exit where I live, and we pulled up to a stoplight. And as we pulled up to a stoplight, there was kids in a Jeep listening to my album.
No way.
And they looked over at me, and they saw it was me, and they were flashing the album, jumping on the Jeep. They were like, "This shit's incredible." And the chick I was with was like, "Are you famous or something?" It was one of the cooler moments.
Oh
of
my
life.
gosh.
I'm like, "Yeah, baby, I'm famous." Locally.
That is totally cool. Well, what I want to do, and actually, viewers, while I'm thinking about it, we're going to take a quick break, and I'll be back in just a few with Raymond and Danny. But I want to segue. And what was the name of the band?
Well, so we had our own label. It was called Casino Entertainment. So we kind of did like compilation albums of like all of people that we did music with, but typically it was mostly me and my brother and his fiance. So yeah, we were known as Casino Entertainment. Okay, so is that probably the video that we'll find then? If you wanted to find the video, you would type in Casino Entertainment videos on blast, because the people that did the video it was really cool at the time. It was a company out of Brooklyn, and they had a pretty big following online, and they would drive to wherever and they would actually do a music video for a group, and then they would put it on their TV show at the time. So every video that was on this show was done by them.
Okay.
And it had a really big follow. It had a couple 100,000 followers at the time. It's no longer a thing anymore. But yeah, so it'd be Casino Entertainment videos on blast on YouTube.
So you heard it from Raymond right there. So guess what you were watching right now? We're going to check out the video. We'll be right back with Raymond and Danny right after this. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a minute. Cool. So what I'll
Yeah, this is whoever thought we wasn't gonna make it, man. Never. We're going to the top. And once we gonna get there, we ain't never gonna fall. Yeah, Casino, 06, Lost Tapes. Yeah, what up, y'all? Act like I ain't never bought heat the dudes. Like I ain't stood for 12 and bro beef the crews. We the ones that turned South Main to a war zone. Where the pigs wouldn't do shit, we had to watch our own home. The one that teacher said he'll never do shit. Oh, you called me out, now I gotta prove shit. Peaceful man, that'll put the peace to a man. I'm knuckle up for anyone, plus I beat that man. I'm the one, trust me dog, I'm the best to ride. The one that had 50 people scared to testify. Been locked up for 2 straight summers. Plus I've been through way more shit than a plumber. Holding a ratchet, busting a pipe. I've been pushed down now most of my life. From a football star to fugitive of the week, I got my back to the wall, but I'm never retreating, man.
We gonna make it after all. We gon' never fall. We gonna make it after all, and we gon' bring it to you. We gonna make it after all. We gon' never fall. We gonna make it after all, and we gon' bring it to you.
Locked up, then Jimmy shot up, but I'm still rocking, still popping, still doing, still moving till I prove it. Never stop, F losing, F the cops. Sorta love it, but F the block, F bitches, but I still let them F the cop. I'm in the hoopty, riding with no heat. It feel incomplete like rhyming with no beat. Friends disappear like magicians. Family still here, still sitting, still sipping. Rough times, stuff dimes, hustle hard. Cops tapping calls, toast with a coke like fuck it. Life good with my people. Been in wars, like get the camo, get the weapon, get the ammo. Lace the Timbs, knuckle up. I gotta dodge a sucker punch, bobbing and weaving. Humming, heart stop, still breathing. Catch my breath.
We gonna make it after all. We gon' never fall. We gonna make it after all, and we gon' bring it to you. We gonna make it after all. We gon' never fall. We gonna make it after all, and we gon' bring it to you.
After all, we still stand. After brawl, coating them out with the hand on the ball. Dodging the law, let the shotgun lodge in your jaw. Usually chillin', but still late with a flip. Fist to the jaw, boot to the lip, gun to the ass, shooting the shit. White tee, blue fitted. Cops like, who did it? Forget doing time. Wanted posters, even if I didn't do the crime. Pigs wanna harass, so every time the whip pass, the lights flash. They wanna see me trapped in a box. Haters wanna see me slash with the eye dead in a box. Wish me the worst, it wouldn't be the first. I got a thirst for success, I can taste it. Better us to make it if you wanna see your chips rise. And if you down for the cause, let your fists rise. Stand up, cause we gon' make it this time.
We gonna make it after all. We gon' never fall. We gonna make it after all, and we gon' bring it to you. We gonna make it after all. We gon' never fall. We gonna make it after all, and we gon' bring it to you.
Bring it on, bring it on, bring it on. Bring it on, bring it on, bring it on. Bring it on, bring it on, bring it on. Bring it on, bring it on, bring it on. Bring it on, bring it on, bring it on. Bring it on, bring it on, bring it on.
Decode the signal until 2011, when the signal was also
And that was old, but that was a real, that was 2006, and that was really popular. Obviously, we did more videos after that, but that was like the initial one that we did.
Why did you get out of music? Just out of curiosity.
Man, I went through so much shit in my life that I couldn't even find time or inspiration or even the money to. Music's an expensive thing to do too. You know,
Right off the bat, yeah.
Like, you know, production, recording is hourly, 50 an hour. Mix down is another 50 an hour. Mastering is, you know, typically 500 per song. Then you gotta press up, you know, at the time, press up CDs. We don't do CDs no more, but you know, videos are $1,000 a pop. It just was like, you know, it was too much at the time. Now things are cheaper to do because you could do your own videos, phones and everything. Just do it. They do it all. I did a video for my brother last summer, actually, on my iPhone, and it came out incredible.
Isn't that wild?
And we couldn't have done that back then.
No, there's kids in middle school that are getting 1 million hits on their new videos.
Yeah.
I'm lucky. I've had something out online for 4 months. I've got 13 hits on the stupid thing. Anyway, I appreciate it, and I'll listen to what you have to say.
Cool.
But not on this episode of Hook, Line, and Thinker. Hey, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. I'm DJD Phoenix, and with me I've got Danny Boy over in Jersey, and we're also hanging out with Raymond Michael today, too. So, hey, what's up? Oh, my God.
Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot.
Okay.
I'm waiting on this Mayweather Paul fight.
Oh, when's that falling? When's that
Tonight.
happening? Oh, it is? Oh, well, how did we luck out then and get your pre-fight time then? What time is the fight?
Do you know Logan Paul?
What's that?
You know who Logan Paul is?
No, I don't.
Maybe
I do. I've heard the name.
Him and his brother are like YouTube sensations. They're famous from YouTube.
That Logan Paul. Okay.
Right. And
Gotcha.
he's got I feel is even more famous than him. But he's fighting Floyd Mayweather tonight.
That's
and
what it is.
Way bigger than Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit of an oddity here because there's a lot on the line as far as the sport of boxing is concerned. Because if he loses, first of all, I don't think he's going to lose. Okay, Money Mayweather is the greatest defensive boxers in history. He is going to wear down Logan, and you know I've seen Logan training, and I don't think he has the stamina to hang in there as long as he's going to need to get the shots off that he needs to win. I think it's going to go long, but I can't see Mayweather losing to Logan Paul tonight.
What time does the fight start?
It'll be midnight Eastern, so whatever that is for you, 9, I think.
Oh, okay, so 9 o'clock. Okay, I was going to say, why so late? Because, yeah, usually earlier than that, I thought.
Right.
No, they usually start.
I'm sorry, what was that, mister?
Main events, they start around midnight.
Okay. Well, the only main event I'm familiar with is like WWE, so.
Yeah, it's going to be. Look, I was just saying to someone yesterday, they said, if Paul knocks Mayweather out, this was a woman, she said, I'm going to get a sex change and become a boxer because, you know, and I said, you know, it's not that simple. I said, Mayweather is clearly the superior boxer. It's not even close. His skill is unmatched. His defense is probably the best defensive boxer ever.
Absolutely.
But 6 inches in height and 50-some pound difference is a big deal. That's a big deal. If he lucks out and lands a haymaker on Mayweather, he could knock him out cold.
That's true.
You know?
Yeah.
It's just probably not going to happen. But what I said to this woman, she claims that Mayweather's going to knock Paul out. That's not going to happen.
So
Ray, I would say this. If you watched the fight between him and McGregor, he was landing some pretty hardcore punches on McGregor. So
McGregor's tiny.
Logan Paul, though, has the kind of chin that McGregor does. Because McGregor, he takes some hits without gloves, and he's been doing it his whole. Logan Paul is not the same.
McGregor can take a beating like nobody's business, but McGregor is, I think, a little smaller than Mayweather even.
Okay.
So Logan Paul is like 6'1".
I was gonna ask. Well, how tall is Mayweather then?
5'7".
Yeah, he's tiny.
That's it?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh wow. Okay.
So this fighting match, they're not even judging it. There's going to be no judges in the ring like typically they would, score a fight.
Right.
Not this fight. This is totally different because of the circumstance, because he's not a technical boxer. Logan Paul is not a boxer by trade. So they can't score the fight. They have to just, have the fight where if he gets knocked out, just like a backyard boxing match, whoever is knocking someone out is the winner.
That's basically what the rules are tonight.
Right, correct.
Okay.
And they're very stringent. I actually watched the referee on Instagram going over what constitutes as a knockout, a knee to the ground is constituting a knockout. Also touching the glove to the ground is a knockout. He also said if Mayweather or Logan start beating up on them, he's going to stop the fight. But he was saying basically that he's good. This is more than usual. So like usually the ref would let them, duke it out a little bit. But tonight it's going to be like if anybody, and I think this is for Logan Paul's protection. If Mayweather actually starts whooping his ass, he's calling the fight.
Well, I think it's for Mayweather's protection because God forbid the king of boxing loses to a nobody.
It could. You're right about that. It could be. But also, bro, I don't think Logan Paul's going to be able to hit him.
No, he's not. He's not fast enough.
I don't think he's quick enough. He can't. But like you said, if he does get one of those haymakers in, he could be 50-1.
Right. What you're going to see is Mayweather dance around the ring a lot. There's a lot of dance. He's going to wear him. Right.
He's the best ever to do it.
Well, it'll be interesting to see. Now, do either of you have any money on this?
No.
I don't. I actually went on my sports book tonight because I wanted to put money on this fight. And I was going to put a lot on Mayweather, but I couldn't find the fight. So I don't know who's got it. I'm sure there's another place, another bookie that's got it. But I only use FanDuel and my sports book to bet on. They won a parlay today. I was actually out to dinner at the Chimney Rock Inn tonight, and I was watching.
We don't have to advertise them.
Great, and I mean amazing chicken tacos, soft chicken. They have radish in there. They had.
I don't need to open beers, start open steers. It's time for facing all my fears, stop wasting years. I don't need to go to town on my way around. I just need a couple cows and when that couple thou. I don't need to smoke the dank or the sticky green to get the cow strength blink with the biggest string. I don't even need a phone to get in my zone. I just need to be alone, pray to the throne, put your phone down. Yeah, I don't wanna roll to the bar we know, so to the farm we go. I'm not gonna roll. Don't wanna go, I wanna stay. Ain't gonna wait for the shirt in my way. I don't need a drink tonight, not trying to smoke. Time to slip on out to the countryside and grab my rope to the farm we go. I'd rather not drink, trying not to smoke. Need a little bit of decent until Friday when I roll. I wanna get the buckle, but I know I need the fuel. Climbing up a mountain and I'm climbing like a mule. Trucks running top notch, burning out cops watch. When they pull me over, people stare at what the box caught. Got a soft spot for all my different animals. I won't run and stay to hunting for the mountain wolves. For some on the weekend, it's sipping on mimosa time. For me, it's different, dipping to the Ponderosa Pines. For my buddy's birthday party, I'm supposed to find. Guess I will not make it, cause somebody must have sold the signs. We already made it to the mountains, ain't no turning back. Start picking up sticks, spits of fire, might as well burn this map. And wearing a mask just so I can get around. Makes me feel like that I never go to town. Don't wanna go, I wanna stay. Ain't gonna wait for the shirt in my way.
City, don't wanna go. Where my phone gets service, don't wanna go. Where we can't play guitar, don't wanna go. To the honky tonk bar, don't wanna go. I wanna stay. Ain't gonna wait for the shirt in my way. Don't need a drink tonight. I might need a smoke. Time to slip on out to the countryside and grab my road. To the farm we go. Farm we go.
That was Leviticus with Farm We Go, recently released in the last couple of months. Want to say thank you very much for tuning in. I got just about another 20-ish minutes or so of the show. It's a shortened version today, but that's all right. You can also hear now on every night of the week at, what is it? It is at 10:30 on Neo Retro FM, our radio station. We are doing half-hour segments of Hook, Line, and Thinker, the early episodes with Dub Effects and myself on there. So do check that out. And that can be heard every night on Neo Retro FM at streaming.radio.co/SE2E106AC9/low. You know what? There's a link for it somewhere. How about just go there instead? All right, if you guys are ready, this is the last segment, or this is the last part of the show. So, and after this, turn back over to the radio. Neo Retro FM, DJ D Phoenix with the Groove Zone out of Olympia, Washington.
The morals of our country, man. The certain people, the morals of the generation that will literally not care about human life. They know that it's going to kill people, and they still, just to make a couple extra dollars, they will literally fucking cut it with what they know is going to kill people and sell it to people and hope that they don't die just to make a buck. Or maybe they die.
All for money.
Yeah.
All for money.
And this is the future. This is the future that's going to basically run the world here very soon.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel bad for the ones that are going to be at the mercy of people like that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Hell in a handbasket.
Yeah,
Yep.
for sure.
Oh, let's talk about 5G real quick.
Let's do that, but let's do that. Let's do that after a commercial break. Hey guys, you are still watching, and we are so thankful. You're watching Hook, Line, and Thinker here on the Groove Zone Network. I'm DJ D Phoenix, hanging out with Danny Boy and with Ray out of New Jersey. Hey guys. So we're going to break away real quick. I'm going to play a track by.
That's not
who
me.
am I going to play a track by? I think we'll do Mountain Head. No, we're going to do the Soldiers of Monochrome. Guys, we'll be back after this. This is Soldiers of Monochrome versus Mountain Head. Groove Zone, and we're off. Soldiers of Monochrome, a hip-hop group out of the UK that I'm interviewing on Tuesday. These guys rock. Totally rock.
I'm a lifelong hip-hop fanatic. I just can't get into UK rappers or rappers from any other country, really. The accents just doesn't do it for me.
See,
there's probably a lot of talented people, but I just can't vibe with it, you know?
Right.
I follow a rapper in Poland. His name is Popek.
Popek.
Is that the dude that's like psychotic?
Yes, he's
Yes.
huge.
Yeah.
And he's a fucking beast. And the guy had his eyes fucking slit open and tattooed. He had his face purposely scarred. Like he literally went into a place and had the fucking guy cut his face up with a knife.
Yeah, he's like dumb rich too, I think. Yeah, I've seen him. He's a crazy motherfucker, man.
Yeah, he's fucking insane. His name is Popek. You should check him out.
I've seen him.
Popek.
Yeah, he's Polish. And you know what
one of you heard of the Antwoord?
You know what they say about Polish people, right, Darren?
I'm Polish, so yeah. What?
They're really good with light bulbs.
The whole family usually has to be. It's something that they start teaching us at a young age. Have I ever showed you the whole Polish hand trick?
No.
Okay, well, my next visit, we'll spend a weekend. Awesome stuff. Yeah.
How do you get a one-armed Polak out of a tree?
I don't know. He's still hanging out there. You want me to go grab him for you?
No, just wave to him.
Okay, great. Well, while Danny finishes the book of Polish jokes, I'll have to look for Popek later. Okay, what were we going to talk about? Danny, you were taking us that direction, and then we got off on that other tangent.
Yeah, we started talking about it before, and we've never really covered it. It's not much to cover. We could probably cover it all in about 5-10 minutes at the most. 5G, what it is, what is it? 5G is the holographic technology that we need for the future.
And it's here.
It's here. It's here now. The technology is basically going to be able to project images that look indistinguishable from reality. So there's actually going to be phones that project the image of the person that you're speaking to. I don't know how they're going to do it. First of all, I don't even know how they created photographs and video chat like this. Like this to me is just mind blowing. If we had to start again tomorrow technologically, and they told me to make a video where you capture life in a machine and then play it back, the fuck is that? Like, how does that? But now they're talking about having a projection. Like my mind can't.
Princess Leia.
Exactly. There you go. Yes, Princess Leia with R2D2.
You're my only hope.
I'm a big Star Wars fan.
You're my only hope. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I'm trying.
Well, they did it with Michael Jackson. Michael was able to perform after he died because they projected him. I think they did that with Tupac too.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's gone parabolic, man. What they've done and what they're doing and what we're about to get is just going to blow everybody's minds.
But this is going to have to be on a global scale, though. It's like either they've got to do away with the population so much. Not everybody's going to buy into this. Not everybody's going to be able to go for this. And I don't know. It's all about ultimate purpose. What's the ultimate intent? What's the end result in the end game? Although
what you have to understand too is what is the purpose of 5G and can it be weaponized? Can they weaponize holograms? I think you can. I think you can have a fake UFO landing, a fake return of Christ. You could anything you wanted, a fake army, like the possibilities are endless.
Right. So then you're almost talking about psychological warfare there to a degree too.
I never thought of that, Danny, as the a fake coming of Christ. That would be, imagine that, trumpets.
They do it.
Coming through the sky with clouds moving on.
Yeah. And that's Bible they talk about. Jesus says, if you see, if they say
in the desert,
you see me in the desert, don't believe it, don't go, it's not me. Right. He says you'll go because every eye on earth will see when he returns. And you know what? That's also possible. A lot of people said that was impossible before, but with television, I think that is possible too.
Oh yeah. Right. But there again though too, and we're talking about the creator of the universe, the creator of everything.
Everybody at once, that wouldn't be a problem.
No, and I think that it's really hard for us to wrap our minds around. I still see the pictures from like Sunday school of him coming down and out of the clouds. Yeah, it's, I don't know. This is a really long ongoing series of discussions, because every time we start to talk about something, it leads into something else.
Yeah,
that's the beauty of podcasts.
That exactly.
And go with it, man, and it's always fun.
It blows my mind.
Yeah.
And my mind's been blown a lot. Okay, so now that was about 3.5 minutes. Did we already cover everything on 5G?
I don't think so. I think topically yes, but Raymond, do you have anything else about 5G? I mean, we could talk about how people were calling it microwave.
I don't believe 5G was the cause of COVID, like a lot of people were saying.
That was a
real thing, man. There was a lot.
I even was worried about it myself at first.
Right. I don't personally think the 5G we're seeing with cell phones and the towers is harmful. Can 5G be harmful or used in harmful ways? Yes, but I don't think. Listen, here's the thing. Some things are conspiracies. Some things really are not what they seem, but not everything.
Right.
But some conspiracies actually end up being true. But you don't one of those things.
Sure, I don't think that's one of them. It's up to someone to sift through and make their own decision, of course. I just don't see the benefit of what that would.
But the fight, which is awesome, but do we want to?
Do you have any specific questions or topics you have in mind?
Oh, probably.
He talks a lot of conspiracies. He likes conspiracy theories, which I do as well. He likes phenomenon like UFOs, aliens, and the show that he was referring to earlier, Coast to Coast, is with a guy named Art Bell. Man, when I was incarcerated years ago.
Well, we're not going to let Danny have to necessarily finish that story at the moment. What we're going to do, we're actually going to cut this one because I want to keep these at about an hour long, which will leave us with about possibly 17 minutes or so, somewhere about there for the next one. So all you need to do, just hang tight, and we are going to refresh everything, and we'll be right back with you. Raymond, Michael, Danny Boy, thank you very much for being here with us. And so stay right here. We'll be right back in 1, 2, 3,